So let me tell you guys about my house. It's an old house, about 120 years old, and as it is with most 120-year-old homes, it's got 120-year-old problems. Least of which are the drafty windows, uneven floors, and some of the questionable upgrades that the previous owners did to the place. But if there's one thing that we absolutely loved about our old home, it's the original fireplace that we have here in our living room. It's the one thing that I look forward to lighting up every single year when the weather gets a little bit colder. So this means every year I've got to go out and get some firewood. So a couple days ago, it was right about that time of year again, and it was time for me to go out there and get some firewood for the winter. So I did a quick Google search and started calling all the numbers down the line. The first person didn't pick up. I texted him as well, asked him for a quote, gave him a few minutes to respond. I didn't hear anything. I'm a busy guy, and this was something that I needed to have taken care of that morning. I'm not going to spend the whole day waiting for people to call me back, so I continued down that list of firewood people in my town. The second person picked up, gave me a quote, took my order, and said the truck would stop by in a few days. Told me that I could pay the delivery guy when he arrived. Easy peasy. Then an hour later, that first person that I reached out to finally responds to my text with a quote. But at that point, he'd already lost the sale. I had already placed my order with this other guy. It didn't matter if he was the same price. It didn't matter if he had a better product. It wouldn't have mattered if he had quoted me a slightly cheaper price. Now here's the thing, I am a busy wedding photographer in the middle of my wedding season. I don't have time to chase around folks trying to get prices. I needed to have this thing done so that I can move on with my life and get back to the pile of work that was waiting for me on my desk. Which brings me to today's lesson. The speed of your response time is everything in this day and age. Today's customers expect immediacy. They want their answers and they want their products and services now. A little slower than expected is no longer good enough. Studies show that after 5 minutes, your chances of qualifying a lead has already decreased by 80%. Every second counts, and that is why getting in early is so important. When your customers are in that prime state of mind to buy, they're looking for a solution right at that very moment. And they're ready to buy, and your only job as a business owner is to give it to them right then and there. If you can capture their attention right then and there, and they're talking to you and nobody else, for those moments that you have their undivided attention, they won't be able to talk to anyone else. So don't get in your own way of earning that business. A fast response time allows you to make contact before your competition does. And that's your opportunity to get them into a sales call and knock their socks off. And if you can do this every single time, you're going to get the sale more often times than not. And not only that, a faster response time is going to make you and your brand look good. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the name of the game, right? And should you drop the ball for whatever reason, your very hungry competitors would be more than happy to catch it for themselves with zero hesitation. In business and in life, there are no participation trophies. There is no second place. When you've got one job opening or one customer in that marketplace and a crowded field of competitors, there can only be one winner for that customer or that job opening. So whether that's a second shooting opportunity or a wedding inquiry, or who gets to marry the love of your life, there can only be one winner. There is no second place. Second place gets nothing. So if you're slow to respond, or maybe a quick response time isn't a priority for you, or maybe you're operating from the mindset that you'll get to it when you get to it. Maybe if you'll answer by the end of the day, that's good enough for most people, right? Maybe there's no urgency for you. Maybe you believe there are plenty of fish out there in the sea and you'll get another opportunity. And guess what? You're not entirely wrong. Opportunities, they do come and go. But if you keep having these unforced errors when these opportunities are coming your way, you're going to find yourself losing a lot more than winning. Maybe you have a spouse or a partner who can cover most of your living expenses. Or maybe you're still living at home with your folks. If that's the case, then lucky you. You've got a little bit more time on your side. You've got a little bit more of a cushion, so when you miss an opportunity, it doesn't hurt so bad. But if you're the sole breadwinner, and you've got to make things work, you're tired of living with your parents and you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, you can't afford any of these unforced errors. You can't be dropping the ball like that. So if you want to take care of your clients quickly, on their terms, how do you do it? Well, the first thing is you got to know that your prospects will come in 3 speeds. They're ready to buy now, they're ready to buy soon, and they're ready to buy sometime down the road. If they're ready to buy now, you've got to answer those emails and those DMs quickly. If they're ready to buy soon, that means they're still looking, but they still need to know that you've got what they're looking for and that you're making it easy for them to find it. And not only that, you've got to inspire them to reach out to you quickly. Create some urgency so you can start that sales conversation. Now, if they're ready to buy sometime down the road, same thing. Give them the stuff that they're looking for and inspire some urgency for them to reach out. As soon as they reach out, you've got to reply quickly. Now, if you don't know what speed your prospects are coming in at, the easiest thing that you can do is have a pricing page with a starting price and a separate page to answer all their frequently asked questions. But most importantly, if they have a question or wish to inquire or buy, Make that process super simple for them. Don't have 100 items on your inquiry form. You just need their name, their contact info, and maybe a date or location for their event to check your availability, but that's it. The second thing is, now that you know that your prospects come in 3 speeds, you're probably now understanding how important it is to streamline the entire sales process for your prospects, from the moment they come across your work to the moment that they reach out to you, to your inquiry response, to your consult. Why would you make your prospects jump through all these hoops when they're already ready to inquire with you? If you've got your website set up properly, you can take care of all the prospects that come your way, regardless of their readiness to buy. The third thing you got to do is have systems in place to help you respond quickly, whether it's chatbots, autoresponders, or even virtual assistants will help you with inbox management. Your response time needs to be super quick. And when you set all those sales appointments, they need to be on your calendar within a week or less. The longer the time between each point in your funnel, the higher the chance you'll have to lose them. Shorten that timeline and you'll increase your chances of getting the sale. The fourth thing you got to do is streamline your process of handling inquiries. Now, you guys probably know as well as I do, we all lead busy lives. Our clients lead busy lives. Emails on your customers' ends are not always answered quickly, but that doesn't give us any excuse to slouch on our end. We need to do our part to respond to their initial inquiries promptly, and to also follow up with them promptly if we don't hear from them. You've got to remember, they're planning a wedding, most likely for their very first time. They're just inundated with emails, and there's a good chance that your email or messages got lost in the sauce, so to speak. Now, it's for this reason that you need to stay on top of your follow-up game. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 follow-ups to get the meeting, but you still have to do your part as a responsible business owner who's doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. So get yourself a CRM to keep track of all this stuff. Stay on top of your follow-up, and that way you can keep your name on top of that growing pile in front of your prospect, thereby increasing your odds of getting their attention, keeping it, and ultimately getting the sale. So let me share with you an update with that first guy whom I called for the firewood. 24 hours after I initially inquired, the guy personally calls and apologizes about how he was so busy and that he was working 14-hour days, his terrible sob story, and how he couldn't respond to his inquiries in a timely fashion. Then he talked about how amazing his product was and how competitive his pricing was and how long he had been doing this kind of work. Now listen, this all sounded really great and all, but I felt terrible for him. And I had to break it to him that everything sounded great, but none of it mattered because I'd already made my purchase with his competitor. You snooze, you lose, you know? And unfortunately, in life and in business, that's just the name of the game. Anyway, I hope that in today's video, you guys understand exactly how important it is to respond to your inquiries quickly. Out of all the things that you can do in your sales and marketing that can actually help you earn more money and more clients, this is one of the few things that costs you absolutely nothing. It's 100% free, easy as hell, and just requires you to pay attention and stay on top of everything. And honestly, as a business owner, this should also be the bare minimum of what you should be doing too. Now, if you found this video to be helpful, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and invite your friends to the party. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.